And now for the day's news. Our top story today comes straight from the tough and tumble neighborhood of Kingsbury Run.
Hello, George.
There, the police
Were you able to find out anything else about Louis?
Nah, I asked around, but it's like I told you, nobody knows this guy.
Oh, well. Thanks for your cooperation. If you happen to hear anything else, please give me a call at the COI office in the Federal Building.
Wait, there is something else. It didn't mean nothing to me, but it might mean something to you. One of the boys says he overheard Louis talking to Mr. Finster. He says he kept calling himself Harold. I don't know if it means anything or not. I sworn on the Holy Bible he said his name was Louis.
I don't know if it means anything or not, but it could be important. Thanks again, George.
Just catch his creep and lock him up for good.
Our very own Stars and Stripes and had an American name painted on her pilot house and stern in an attempt to pass itself off as one of our own. Our American cruiser's good commander was too smart to fall for such a trick, however, and he immediately ordered the ship to heave to. Despite a last-ditch effort by the Axis merchantmen to blow up their own ship, their vessel was captured without incident. In other global news, snow and near-zero weather in Russia halted Nazi troops dead in their tracks. More bad news for the Axis as the British began an offensive in North Africa along the 130-mile Libya line. Score one for Hitler, though. Wire reports confirmed that the Australian cruiser Sydney was sunk by a German raider disguised as a Dutch merchant ship. I guess our mates down under could use a few lessons from our own boys at sea. In Washington today, Subaru Kurusu, Japan's new and super special envoy to the United States, is set to begin a round of talks with the State Date partner. These talks come right on the heels of Tojo's stinging remarks regarding Roosevelt's Pacific...
Yeah, I'll try there, thanks.
With the Pacific crisis nearing its breaking point, officials
Looks
in
like I finally found Louis.
Kurusu, Japan's pinch hitter on the diplomatic diamond, can head off a military confrontation. Also in Washington, a recent survey of 59 Midwestern editors and publishers for the interventionist Continental Congress for Freedom displayed surprising opinions. The newspaper head honchos reported that their communities were now overwhelmingly in favor of the administration's foreign policy and a repeal of the Neutrality Act. Said one editor,
Hello? I'm sorry, I was hoping you might be able to help me. I'm looking for a man named Louis Fisterwald. Is he here?
What'd you say your name was?
I didn't. Hank Finster sent me. He had a message he wanted me to deliver to Louis. He's reconsidered Louis's offer.
Yeah, Louis wants to hear about that. He ain't here right now, though. You tried out the mission?
A mission? What's a convicted felon doing at a mission?
Say, who is this really? You better beat it, buddy. We're closed.
What's this? Looks like someone's been spending some time at St. Bartholomew's Mission. Excuse me, my name's Jim Pearson. I'm from the COI. I was hoping you might be able to help me.
Sure, mister. I'll help you if I can.
I've just got a couple of questions for you.
Oh, all right. I'll help you if I can.
What do you do here, friend?
I help the fathers with the place. Keeping things up, that sort of thing.
Jack of all trades, huh?
Yeah, I guess. Mostly, I help out with the hobos. Make sure there's no trouble.
You see a lot of trouble in here?
No, not really. Mostly I play cards.
A lot of people come through here, I bet.
Oh, yeah. Especially now, what with everyone afraid of the torso killer, no one wants to sleep by himself anymore.
Hasn't anyone been able to help?
No. They just try to get rid of the poor hobos. Why, just last month, Mr. Ness burned down their camps. Said he was trying to smoke out the killer, but all he did was burn down their homes.
Well, I think it's a mighty decent job you're doing here, friend.
Thanks, mister.
Do you know a fella named Louis?
Sure, I know Louis.
Do you know where I might be able to find him?
Yeah, he works at the Raven Room. He's a doorman. Say, why you looking for Louis?
I've just got a few questions for him.
Oh, I thought maybe he'd gotten into trouble.
He get into trouble a lot?
Yeah, Louis always getting into trouble. Oh, but I shouldn't be talking about that.
Why shouldn't you say anything about that?
I don't rat on friends.
How long have you known Louis?
Oh, Louis and me go way back.
You don't say.
Yeah, since we was kids. Louis always looking out for me. He even got me this here job.
This Louis sounds like a swell guy.
Oh, he's the best. You want to see something?
Sure, why not?
Louis even got me introduced to Gloria the Mill. Got my picture taken with her and everything.
Say, that sure is a nice picture. Who are those other fellas?
They friends of Louis.
The father's around now?
Nah, they left me to watch the place. What's the matter, mister?
They were supposed to have a package for me. So you don't suppose you... No, I couldn't ask you to do that.
Do what, mister?
You don't suppose you could look for that package for me, do you? They were supposed to have it in their offices.
Oh, sure, mister. I could do that for you. You'll watch the counter for me, won't you?
No problem, friend.
Say, mister,
Yes.
what's this package look like?
It's about that big, say, and about that high.
All right, I'll go fetch it for you.
Come in.
Do you recognize anyone in this photo?
Those are some pretty big players you got there, kid. Dutch Schultz, Benny Cohen, Moose Malone. These boys run all the rackets in Cleveland. The skirt's Dutch's girl, Gloria DeMille. She was in pictures before the scandal sheets found out she was dating a gangster. I'm not too sure about these other two fellas, though.
The big man's name is Ernie. You don't recognize the other guy?
I'll be damned. That's Louie the Fish. Small-time hood, bagman for Dutch. Word has it he made off with Dutch's take from a booze run a couple of years ago. Took off with a cool 10 grand.
What happened to him?
Well, he said he went to Atlantic City. He was throwing money around like it grew on trees. Blew the whole wad on women, booze, gambling, you name it. Word got back to Dutch and Louie disappeared. Ain't never been seen since. Everybody figured he was dead.
He's not dead.
Well, there's a lot of crooks in this city that'd love to know that.
Were you able to figure out how those rune pieces assemble?
I'm sorry, I haven't. They all seem to fit together. There could be hundreds of possibilities. I imagine there's some sort of sequence. The runes seem to suggest some sort of message when assembled. But without a proper key to their order, it would be impossible to figure out the right one. I'm sorry I couldn't be of more help.
No, you've done a fine job. At least now I have some idea of where to begin.
I've had more luck with the parchments.
What'd you make of them?
Well, it's very odd. It threw me at first, but I figured out that the text, though written in runes, could be read phonetically in English. It turns out that it looks like they were describing some sort of ritual. Two of them, in fact. One to summon Odin, and one to grant the powers of Odin. They seem to revolve these rituals around three objects of power. One was a wise man's skull, one was a cup made from ashwood, and the third object wasn't as clear. It was Dahlia's dark prison. Dahlia was the name of a seer, a muse. Does any of that mean anything to you?
No, it doesn't make any sense to me at all.
Oh, well, there's a book on Old Norse legends on the shelf if you think that would help.
Thanks, Helen. Do you mind if I have a look at your father's project? Well. If it isn't Louis Fisher. Or is it Fielding? What is it these days? Fisterwald, right?
That's Mr. Fisterwald to you. And who the hell are you?
I'm Agent Pearson. I'm with the COI. I'd like to speak to you about some alleged subversive acts.
Slag off, you lousy Fed. I ain't got nothing to say to you.
Well, we've got plenty to talk about. For starters, there's the subversive materials you've been handing out. You do know the penalty for treason, don't you?
I ain't committed no treason. And you ain't got nothing on me anyhow. If you did, you would have pinched me already.
Well, I've half a mind to take you in just for the sake of it.
Go ahead and try. I'd be out of the stir so fast your head would be spinning. You can't touch me. I got friends. Now beat it. I got a job to do.
You haven't heard the last from me.
Go to hell.
I wonder who these other men are. I hear you used to keep some pretty interesting company, Louis.
What the hell are you talking about?
Dutch Schultz, Lenny Cohen, Moose Malone. Oh, I'd be willing to bet your old friends would just love to know where you are right now.
Where'd you get that?
Never mind where I got it. I think we're gonna have that little talk now. Or do you think your new friends are gonna be able to help you now?
You lousy fed. Do you know what you've done? I'm a dead man. Dead for sure.
I'm a reasonable kind of fellow, Louis. All you have to do is talk to me and this little matter just blows away. Now, where'd you get the invitation you gave Finster?
Not here. Are you crazy? They'll see me. They'll know.
Who'll know?
Oh, what's it matter? I'm a dead man. Dead for sure. I'll talk to you, mister. But not here.
Why not, Louis? Why not talk here?
I wouldn't. I can't. It's too late. He'd know. Look, he'd find me. I got a place. A safe place. Where he might not see me. We could meet there.
Yeah, I leave now, and you have all the time you need to skip town.
I won't light out. I swear. There's no point. I can't run anywhere. He'll find me. Please. Please. We'll talk. But not here. Anywhere but here.
You better be square with me.
I swear on my mother's grave. Just meet me there.
All right. Tell me where the place is. I killed some time waiting to meet Louis, then headed straight over to the address he gave me. I'd never seen a crummier old building in my life. I walked in feeling certain that rat had given me a bum steer.
Hold it right there! Federal agent!
Jeez. Nazis. His gun is SS issue.
Hello? Anybody here? Hey, mister, what's the matter with you?
Just a little beat is all. What are you doing here?
Are you Jim Pearson?
Yeah, I am.
Man told me you'd give me a nickel if I gave this to you.
All right. I'm game. Here you go.
Thanks, mister.
Hey, what's in here?
Don't know.
Just like a Fed. Asleep on the job.
I just had the strangest dream.
Yeah, that's real sweet, kid. Now, if I can tear you away from the sugar plum fairies, I got a few more questions I want to ask you about Fisher's murder.
Sure, Detective, but didn't we already cover all this at the station house?
Things have changed. We found the rest of Louis scattered around Lake Erie this morning.
Oh, I see. What's on your mind?
Let's start with why the torso killer is delivering to you like he's your goddamn milkman.
I don't know what the torso killer had to do with this. You should be looking into the gunman from the warehouse. Have you identified him yet?
Kid, I'm telling you, that box was no accident. The torso killer was sending you a message. I want to know why.
My case doesn't have anything to do with the torso killer. I was investigating an outfit that calls itself the Brotherhood of Thule. They're a fascist organization who may have some connection to the Nazis.
What the hell do they have to do with this?
I'm not sure who they are exactly, but Louis worked for them. They're into some pretty strange stuff.
What sort of stuff?
Norse gods, pagan knights, that sort of thing.
And you think they done Louis in, huh?
I'm sure of it.
Well, what else do you know about this here Brotherhood?
Not very much. They got to Louis before I could uncover any real hard facts.
Well, I got a real hard fact for you. Louis was done in by the torso killer. You remember anything else? Be sure to tell me. Okay, Hotshot?
Of course, Detective.
First he ruins my stakeout at McGinty's, and now we've got 2 dead men on our hands. Your boy's too green.
Pearson is more than capable of fielding this investigation.
Oh? And why wasn't my office notified?
This complaint falls under COI jurisdiction. This is Pearson's case, and he had every right to be there.
That's what you said about Penske. And you know what happened to Wally? He couldn't cut it, so the FBI...
Don't you bring Walt...
Jimbo! How you doing, sport? We'll finish this conversation later.
Sorry if I got you in a tight spot, sir.
Never you mind about that, son. I'm more than capable of handling that grandstander.
I'm making some nice inroads on this investigation, sir.
I'm sure you are, son. How are you getting along, Jim?
I'm fine, sir.
I remember the first time I killed a man. It was during the Great War. I'll never forget his eyes. It can be a nasty business we're in, Mr. Pearson.
Yes, sir. What did Winslow mean when he mentioned Mr. Penske's fate?
That arrogant... He's got a lot of nerve coming in here telling me how to do my job. Well, never mind about Winslow. One day he'll find out that what goes around comes around. It's Walt you wanted to know about.
Yes, sir.
Walt stepped on some toes, and when his behavior became a little overzealous, the FBI called in some favors, and poor Walt was put up before the board. They declared that he was suffering from nervous exhaustion. They packed him off to a sanitarium.
What the hell? These runes look like the ones I found in the bag. I wish I knew what Penske had been on to. Maybe his case has more to do with mine than I thought. What have we here? The Hotel Cleveland, huh?
Excuse me.
Yes, sir.
Do you have anyone named Mulehaven staying here?
That's Mulhaven, sir, and yes, I should think that the gentleman is staying here.
You seem pretty certain of that.
But of course, sir, Mr. Mulhaven is merely one of our best guests. One moment, sir. Front desk. How are you this evening, Mrs. Hathaway? Yes, of course, I'll have that delivered straight away.
Yes, sir.
Please deliver a newspaper to Mrs. Hathaway in 7B. And for God's sake, man, button that uniform.
Yes, sir. Right away,
May I be of further assistance, sir?
Is Mr. Mulhaven in now?
He is checked in now, if that's what you mean, sir. I believe, however, that he is not presently in his room.
So tell me about this Mulhaven fella. He seems to be a big shot around here.
Mr. Mulhaven is an esteemed guest here, sir. He maintains his own suite.
He lives here?
No, sir, but he travels on business from Chicago frequently. He keeps the same suite reserved.
What room is Mr. Mulhaven staying in?
I'm afraid I can't divulge that information.
And listen, friend. I'm a federal operative on an official investigation. Now, are you going to tell me his room number, or am I going to have to take you up on charges?
Charges, sir? What charges?
Obstruction of justice, for starters.
Very well, then. Charge me with obstruction of justice if you must. I refuse to violate the trust of the management and the guests of the Hotel Cleveland. Make no mistake, however. I shall certainly complain to both my superiors and yours about your strong-arm tactics.
Why, I ought to take you in. Ah, forget it.
Hotel Cleveland, how may I help you?
Jones? Well, this is Mr. Mulhaven.
Oh, sir, I hadn't seen you come in. Are you feeling all right? You don't sound like yourself.
Never mind how I sound. Where's my blasted newspaper?
It hasn't been delivered.
No, it hasn't. What's the matter with you people?
I'm sorry, sir. I'll have it sent up straight away. Mr. Mulhaven needs a paper delivered to his suite. Weren't you to deliver it earlier?
I did.
Well, he didn't receive it. Now hop to it.
I delivered the paper. Lousy paper. 23.
23.
Mr. Mulhaven! Your paper, sir! Mr. Mulhaven! Lousy cheapskate can't spare a nickel tip.
Hello, Johnny. Rough day?
You said it, Mrs. Graham.
Maid service?
Now, this ought to come in handy if I need to get back in.
You said you wouldn't disturb anything.
Hans. And we shot, my dear.
You said you'd hurry right in and right out. I'll lose my job if anyone finds me here.
I wonder what that German's game is.
Was wollen Sie? Was wollen Sie? Was wollen Sie?
Good afternoon, Mr. Pearson.
Do we have any information on a man named Mulhaven?
Mulhaven? What's he got to do with this mess?
That's what I'm trying to uncover, sir.
Well, there's not an awful lot I can tell you. He's an industrialist from Chicago. He has a few contracts with the War Department. I believe he has some political aspirations. Apart from that, I know very little about the man.
Are you aware of any German nationals in town?
Well, actually, there is one. A man named Wilhelm von Hess. Our men in Washington have had their eyes on him for a long time now. We've no idea what he's doing in Cleveland, but we're sure as hell he's not in town for the Great Lakes Expo, as he claims.
Why don't we just ship him back where he belongs?
Now, there's the rub. He's here on a diplomatic mission. Even though our men have long suspected him of spying, we can't deport him without concrete proof, without risking an international incident. And relations between our country and Germany are touchy enough as it is.
Well, I think the man that I shot could be connected to von Hess. Von Hess may even be responsible for Fisher's death, although Detective Merillo doesn't seem to think so. You might be able to pin enough on him there to get him shipped off.
If we can make the connection stick, you can be sure that's the first thing we'll do.
Do you have any guesses as to where this might have been taken?
Looks like your man was caught in a rather compromising position. There's only one place that a businessman of Mulhaven's stature would go to, a place called Flanagan's on the east side. How'd you come across that photo?
Von Hess has been using it to blackmail Mulhaven.
Can you prove that?
I believe so, sir.
Wonderful. That is just what we need to have Von Hess packed off.
Mr. Sullivan, if you could, I'd like you to hold off on that for now. At least until I can find out why Von Hess is blackmailing Mulhaven.
Very well, Mr. Pearson. This is your investigation. I'll leave it to your discretion.
Thank you, sir. If I could, sir, I'd like to see Mr. Penske's case files. I believe there's a connection between this case of mine and the matter he was investigating.
It troubles me to hear you say that, Mr. Pearson. Walt was asked to step down from a case that had no bearing whatsoever on our national security. He countermanded direct orders by refusing to do so, and all on account of a bunch of superstitious nonsense. What possible connection could there be between his mumbo-jumbo and your investigation?
I know it sounds like a lot of nonsense to us, sir, but I think this Brotherhood of Thule believes in it. They've organized themselves around it, in fact.
Point well taken. Unfortunately, I don't have the Penske files. The FBI confiscated them, claimed that Walt overstepped COI bounds and interfered in their jurisdiction. Hoover's men won that round, I'm afraid. Perhaps if you were to ask Mr. Winslow, he could make them available.
Well, Jimbo! Well, what brings you here, sport?
I was hoping you could give me a little information.
Sure, anything to help a fellow agent. Yeah, run along, Candy darling. Say, I hope you're not still sore at me for this morning. I think you're doing a fine job. We still friends?
Yeah, sure, Dick. We're still friends.
Great, just great. Say, can I get you anything? A smoke, perhaps?
No, thanks. I don't really like to smoke.
Oh, but have you ever tried one of these? They're imported straight from Turkey. Finest cigarettes I've ever tasted.
Have you fellas identified the man I shot?
Well, we're still working on that. My best guess is that he was working for the mob.
Even though he was carrying an SS-issue gun?
Yes, well, we did put an inquiry in with the German consulate. They disavowed all knowledge of him.
That's to be expected, isn't it?
Well, I suppose so. But Louis did have ties to the mob. It stands to reason that his past might finally catch up to him.
Well, Louis hadn't worked for the mob for years, but he was working as a messenger for this German Brotherhood.
Oh, really? And what Brotherhood would that be?
An outfit that calls itself the Brotherhood of Thule. That's what I've been investigating.
You don't say. Well, my years of experience with the Bureau tell me that this was a mob hit. But if you really think that there's something to this Brotherhood thing...
I do.
Well, then Dick Winslow's not the type of man to leave any stone unturned. I'll make sure someone looks into it.
Does the Bureau have any information on a man named Mulhaven?
Why do you need to know?
I think he might be in a fix with some Nazis.
Look, I probably shouldn't be telling you this, but we've had our eyes on him for some time now. Joseph Mulhaven is the type of man who'll play both sides of the fence until he's certain which side will come out ahead. For the past year, he's been campaigning tirelessly in Chicago on isolationist grounds, but his companies have been secretly gearing up for the war effort. Well, he stands to clean up if America joins the war in Europe.
Would playing both sides of the fence include making deals with the Nazis?
It wouldn't be out of the question. But for all of Mulhaven's sins, he doesn't seem like someone who'd be very likely to sell out to the Nazis. Quite frankly, I don't think he has a stomach for espionage.
Do your men know of any German nationals in town?
No, aren't Germans more up your alley, sport? We've got nothing to do with that sort of thing anymore.
All the same.
Well, just between you and me. There is a German diplomat in town by the name of von Hess.
What's his story?
Oh, he's a career politician for the German government. My superiors in Washington suspect him of spying, but really, if he were, what would he be doing in Cleveland?
I understand the Bureau has Mr. Penske's case files.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I have them right here in my safe. Why do you ask?
I'd like to get a look at them.
Oh, geez, I'm sorry, Jimbo. I can't open them up without a direct order from my superiors. It's completely out of my hands, I'm afraid. Now, if it were up to me, I'd hand them right over to you.
There's no way I can get a look at them?
If it were only up to me. Oh, there's nothing in there anyway, sport, really, just a lot of nonsense. He went completely batty there at the end.
Okay, huh?
Dick? Sounds like he's busy right now.
Okay, huh? Okay, huh? Okay, huh? Okay, huh?
I can't believe his combinations of football score. Why, I bet he didn't even let her.
Okay, huh?
The Sunnyvale Rest Home. So that's where they've got Penske. This'll probably be my only chance at this safe. I'd better find out what I can.
Okay, huh? Like that, huh?
Oh. Jimbo! How long you been out here, sport?
Not very long. I just got here.
You, didn't by any chance hear anything, did you?
No, I didn't hear a thing.
Good, good. Say, I am a little busy now.
That's okay. I'll come back later.
That's awful swell of you, sport.
Sunnyvale seemed harmless enough, but I knew some strings had been pulled to lock Mr. Penske away. I thought it best not to stir up any more trouble than was necessary, so I looked for a nice, quiet way in. The back door into the laundry room did the trick. It wasn't long before I found Mr. Penske's room.
This room is restricted, sir.
I've got clearance.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll be out of your way in a minute. Now, Mr. Penske, I don't have time to fight with you today. Take it.
Mr. Penske, I'm Jim Pearson. I'm with the COI.
The COI, you say? Well, it's about time.
I've reason to believe that you were working on something that's all mixed up in my own investigations. Can you tell me what it was you were working on?
Huh. That's what got me into this pickle in the first place. Do you believe in the supernatural, son? In spirits of darkness and forces beyond man's control?
No, sir, I don't. It all seems like a bunch of stuff out of pulp magazines and radio shows.
I didn't believe in him much either. Everyone thinks I went crazy. But I've seen things. Strange things. And if your case is at all tied up in this mess that I was investigating, you better be prepared.
Yes, sir.
You don't believe me? Someday you will.
I found these in your office, sir. Professor Strauss's daughter helped to explain them a little bit. And I've also found some similar markings on some papers belonging to a group that goes by the name of the Brotherhood of Thule. But I can't make heads or tails out of it.
You ever hear about a gem called the Black Dahlia?
Just from the reports in your case file, sir.
The Dahlia. That's what it's all about, my boy. That's what it's all about.
What is this Dahlia?
It's pure evil. It's what it is. It feeds on blood sacrifice. Many men have tried to uncover its secrets and gain its power, and many men have been driven mad by it. Find the Dahlia. Destroy it. That's the only thing that will make sense of this for you.
I'm not sure why, sir, but my instincts are telling me that the Torso Killer's mixed up in all of this somehow.
Will you follow your gut, son? The torso killer's at the center of all this madness.
But how?
How many victims has he claimed?
8. At least that's all we know of.
Oh, you must find him quickly then. His bloody work requires a sacrifice of 9 men and women. If the prophecy of the ritual is true.
How can I find him? The police have been working on this case already for months, and they're still no closer to tracking him down. Do you know who he is?
Oh, I don't know who the killer is. But I was getting close, I'll tell you. That's why I was put in here. I was getting too close. Why, if they hadn't locked me away, I would have had that man by now.
Lousy bureaucrats. The doctors and nurses here aren't any better. They feed me pills all day when I could be out doing a job. But they don't give a rat's ass about a good day's work. All they want is government money. FDR giving handouts to everybody, sticks a palm in the air.
I wondered when you were gonna stop by, Doc. It's been a while since I've been poked and prodded.
You know, I feel like a slice of prime beef. You know that? What time is it? Seems like you were just here. So what you got for me now, Doc, huh?
What? No! Watch out!
Maybe you shot in the
No!
head.
Mr. Penske! No!
What's
What's happened?
It's the strangest thing. I keep having these weird, no, it's nothing. It's...
The man with the cane.
How did you know?
I've seen him in my dreams as well.
You were troubled by dreams too?
Yes. My dreams were violated by an evil man. He wielded a cane. He drove me to the brink of insanity.
But how's this possible?
He who controls the Dahlia has the power to control dreams. But, I found a way of stopping them.
How?
There are 3 talisman. Sheltered by the wing of the raven, protected by the fangs of the wolf, and guided by the wisdom of the dragon. The raven feather shelters you from dreams, but if you had the other 2 items, you could fight back against your attacker.
This is too much. It's like something out of the shadow.
It's your only hope.
All right. Where can I find these things?
You'll find the raven feather in my office. Inside my copy of the Crusades. But you'll need all 3 talisman if you wish to confront your tormentor. The others will be more difficult to obtain. You'll need to get close to your attacker for those. Look for the totems of the wolf and the dragon. Return here with all 3, and I'll show you how to fight back against your attacker.
Load of hooey. All right, I'll be back as soon as I can get my hands on the voodoo trinkets. In your investigation, sir, did your evidence ever direct you to a place called the Raven Room?
No, nothing solid. More suspicion than anything else.
What did you suspect?
Well, that the nightclub was a front for something far more sinister. I mean, it wasn't long after I started putting my nose into their business that I was sent away here. There's some powerful people behind that club. If you're investigating them, better watch your step.